Well, class, this video is meant to give you a brief walkthrough of iLearn 3. I hope you're all familiar with it and comfortable with it now, and to give you an idea also of what you can expect week to week. I like to do a weekly screencast that just takes you through the material required for the week, gets things launched off on the right foot, and the discussion started. You can also reach out to me directly. I highly encourage that if you go through a screencast and there's still questions or things you don't understand. This is the introductory page. You'll see in announcements is where the screencast will appear each week, at the beginning of each week. From here, I manage mostly out of this content tab. This will take you through your weekly lessons, your due dates here on the left-hand side, and we'll go through a couple of these. You can access discussion boards from here, quizzes, which aren't really quizzes for the sake of this class. There's really one quiz, and it's a syllabus quiz. Besides that, there's no real quizzes, even though I believe they are termed quiz. That's really a misnomer. They're more like essays or assignments. And then you can go over and track your grades from here. Those are really going to be the main tabs you use in this class. So the content is fairly straightforward week to week. Each week you'll start a new lesson. While I have not taught other courses in iLearn 3, I do expect this is the general setup, meant to be fairly straightforward, at least in this class. Is you go week by week, each lesson, and you'll find that we'll fall into a pattern. I'll cover it a bit as I go through the syllabus here in a moment, but really it's based on an assignment, a discussion board, and an assignment and a discussion board. You sprinkle in a few projects here or there, and that's the basics of the course. It follows a pretty simple pattern week to week. So let me go through the discussion, and I encourage you to go through the Welcome tab, take the iLearn 3.0 tour if you're unfamiliar with iLearn 3, and then take a look at Lesson 1 to look ahead. But really in the Welcome tab you'll find some helpful things. We'll go through the syllabus in just a moment, but you can go through the schedule of the semester. Obviously you've got the Support Center, guidance to online learning. But these discussion boards down here are student-led, and they're really a resource for students to discuss with students what you do with Weebly, Wix, WordPress, different kinds of platforms to do web design on. In the content, we will actually get into these more specifically. What is Weebly, Wix versus WordPress? What are the advantages? We'll get into that. But if you would like to talk to one another, get that conversation started early on, that's what these discussion boards are for. So I will take you briefly through the syllabus. I went through a number of syllabi as a student, and so I'm not going to spend a ton of time. If you're really interested, I'm happy to go through in-depth one-on-one with you, but I will keep this fairly basic. The description here I covered in the introductory or the Prep for B250 screencast, really the basics of the course. The course structure, I'll point out here, a textbook, required materials. A textbook is not required for this course, so that's great. No textbook. But please keep in mind you will need some funds for hosting your website, which includes the website host and the domain name. That's not the domain nome, that's domain name. A typo there. And then your AdWords campaign will be another $50. So there is a cost to the course, even though there's not a textbook, and I hope we save quite a bit of money on this course. We're not buying a $300, $500 textbook. It's $40, about $40 for hosting and $50 for the AdWords campaign. And you can do it, the hosting and the website domain, sometimes for less than that, depending on what you use. Again, we'll get into that as we get into the semester. The objectives, it's to create and run an online business. There's details in that, but overall we're looking for you to create and run the online business, show you can do that. And that's the basic expectation. If you fulfill the class assignments, which again are not complex, you'll be able to get your business up and running. If you're struggling with any part of that again, please reach out to me. I'm happy to go through this assignment step by step with you. That's why I'm here. So your assignments, I won't go through all the topics here, but you can see it covers a huge variety. One of the things I enjoy most about this course, we'll go through business models, we'll go through legal structure, we'll go through marketing, we'll go through design ideas, the point of landing pages, social media, social networking, etc., etc. This is what I want to draw your attention to, the typical structure for this course. Monday there'll be an introductory activity due. This is usually a basic, a brief essay, or maybe answering 5 or 6 questions about a reading. On Tuesday, the first topic discussion board opens. To get full credit, you do need to comment on the discussion board the first day. So you will lose points. You'll lose 10% of your grade if you don't comment on the first day. So keep that in mind. The first day it opens, we do need everybody to at least give 1 comment, and then from there you're judged on whether or not you make 5 total what's deemed significant comments, meaning more than a couple sentences. I'm not going to count your sentences, but if you're giving me 2-word or emoticon based answers, emojis I should say, you might be losing some points there. I do look for something substantive. It does not have to be 4 paragraphs, but it's very obvious when there's a lack of participation there, and it becomes 1-word answers in a sentence at a time. Those will not get you a lot of credit, so please make them substantive. But again, the discussion board is based on 1 post the day it opens, and then 4 subsequent posts for a total of 5. Wednesday, the discussion board will close, and then there will be another project due. Thursday, the second discussion board opens. Friday, that will close, and that's going to be your basic flow. And then scattered throughout are projects. I will say project 1 is very involved. Get started on that one early. Projects 2 through 4, not so much. Project 2, creating your own website, you do want to have the bare bones in place. So that includes getting a host and a domain name and things like that. So if you haven't done that before, that's one you want to start on early as well. But really, project 1 is the most in depth, and then project 5 and 6 can be a bit more demanding. The grading, you can see the breakdown. A lot of points are placed on the discussion boards and the projects. I explained the discussion boards before, and you will see that I will start each discussion board with a comment, except for the very last discussion board, as well as the introductory. So the first and last discussion board, I won't officially kick those discussion boards off. Every other one will start with a comment by me, and you'll just reply to my comment and start the discussion board that way. It keeps it more organized that way. Everybody can see everyone's comments. So please reply to my initial thread. But you can see the emphasis in the course is placed on the discussion boards and the projects. The projects is really where you'll go through the process of creating your business. Late work. Late assignments are marked down by 20%, and after a week, it's no longer acceptable. So keep an eye on that. If you have an assignment that seems to be magically marked down by 20%, that's probably because it was late. So you can see the grading scale here, participation. This is what explains the significant post and the grading rubric. The grading rubric here is incorrect, and you'll see a different rubric once you get into the discussion boards, and I apologize for the conflict. This is an old rubric they had where they asked for a response to 10 posts. They've shortened that to 5 posts. So be grateful, I guess, that you don't have to do 10 posts to your classmates. It's only 5. But you'll note that as you go into each discussion board. So that is the syllabus. And any questions on that, please reach out to me. So that is a rather lengthy introduction. Most of my screencasts will not last 10 minutes. I do try and be a little bit more brief, but make sure we get in depth into the material. So take time to peruse what you need, and then go ahead and jump into lesson 1 and get acquainted with that material.